An underpainting isn't just a cool TikTok gimmick where you get a bunch of people going, oh, what colour's your underpainting? What colour's your underpainting? Hi, my name's Holly. I make videos about the creative process and how to paint in oils. Today we're going to be talking about underpainting 101. This is actually the third time I've tried to make this, so if you'd like to watch the bloopers, just head to the end. So what is an underpainting? Essentially, it's just the initial layer. Not to be confused, however, with the priming or gesso layer. You've got your canvas or surface. It may have either come pre-primed, which is fine. You can work straight on that if you wish. I always tend to add a couple of extra layers onto whatever surface it is, just so I can even it out and give it a quick sand and get it to the smoothness that I like. And then you'll do your underpainting. Do you need to even do an underpainting? No, it's entirely optional. However, there are advantages to doing an underpainting, especially in oils. The way I like to think about an underpainting is if you choose not to do an underpainting, it's kind of like choosing not to wear undies. So what do I mean by that? So if you choose to not wear undies, a strong wind can blow that skirt of yours right up and expose your wrinkly white bum. Similar with an underpainting, if you choose to not do an underpainting, you risk exposing that white wrinkly canvas through your layers of paint. An underpainting essentially helps you build depth of colours right from the get-go in your painting process. So if you choose not to do an underpainting, you may find that you will have to perhaps add extra layers at the end of the painting process rather than just adding them at the beginning. So there are other advantages to doing an underpainting, one of which it helps to alleviate that fear of painting straight onto a white canvas. I also choose to do an underpainting because it helps me to stand back and evaluate the compositional choices that I've made, whether I still think that they're okay or not. And if I choose to move forward, I let my underpainting dry and then I proceed with the painting. If I don't like something in the composition, once I've done my underpainting, if it immediately stands out, you can just wipe it off and redo it. Not the entire thing, just the section that you're not happy with. So from a preparation standpoint, being able to view your future image as an underpainting prior to going full steam ahead with your colours can be advantageous in helping you to make compositional decisions. So what are the types of underpaintings? You have imprimatura, which is just a simple wash over the entire canvas or surface. So you've primed your canvas. I'm just going to say canvas, you know I mean surface. So you've primed your canvas, you've drawn your image on, and then you just do a wash, one colour, pick a colour, any colour, just a simple wash over your pencil drawing to hold it in place, let that dry, and then that's it, that's your underpainting. So that's an imprimatura. The other method is what we call a grisaille, and that's simply a monochromatic underpainting in greys or black and white. Another method is called ébauche, and it's basically an underpainting done with very dull colours or muted, low chromatic colours. So they're the three basic types of underpainting. There are different names for different colours and whatnot. I think Verrocchio is a green tone. But basically for your underpainting, you can choose whatever colour you like. It really is your choice. You can choose a hot pink, bright orange, blues. It really is up to you. If you'd like a warmer tone to kind of show through future painting layers, go for earthy tones, burnt siennas, raw umbers, that sort of thing. Cooler tones, maybe try blues, purples, that sort of thing. Experiment, it really is up to you. Do you do your underpainting in acrylic or oils? I have personally done both. So the last few paintings I've done my underpaintings in acrylic, and I've just used the grisaille method, a simple black and white acrylic. If you're short on time, you may find that using acrylics obviously will speed up the drying time of your underpainting significantly. I've done that quite a lot in the past. I use just any old acrylics, black and white. I flesh out my values, so my darks and my lights within my composition, and I can essentially complete my acrylic underpainting and start on my oil layers the same day. So the other method with acrylics I mentioned earlier is just doing a simple one color wash, and typically I do that with a burnt sienna acrylic color. Raw umber, any color, again, will work fine for that. So it's a simple wash. It'll be dry in literally, a couple of minutes. Dilute the paint with water so you have a thin wash, a lot like watercolor, because you still want to see the pencil lines showing through. Don't scrub too harshly because you may scrub away your pencil lines from your drawing. Any color in acrylic, nice big wash. So if you choose to do the underpainting in oils, you'll need something like odorless mineral spirits to help you dilute the oil paint. Remember, we want to work fat over lean, which means the initial layers need to be lean. So how do you lean out or thin out oil paints? Well, you need solvents. So again, you can use this to do a simple wash over the entire canvas. So you thin your oil paint down and you just wash it over the entire canvas, let it dry. With oil paint, you may need to wait until 1 or 2 days later. Or you can thin your paint down and actually paint each element in your composition section by section. So you're actually creating the lights and the darks, or building up the values within your composition in that underpainting stage. If you don't want to use solvents in your underpainting process, that's fine. You can still do an underpainting in oils. How I do that is I use a raw umber, and this particular brand, Winsor & Newton, this raw umber is actually very runny. It has a lot of oil, linseed oil already in it. Whereas this Gamblin raw umber, same pigment, this is super stiff. There's no way I could use this. And all I do is basically a grisaille. So I just do a monochromatic version or value scale of my composition in the one color. And because it's slightly runnier, it will be easier to paint onto the surface. One other method worth mentioning is what we call the wipeout method. So essentially, if you're doing your underpainting in oils, you can do a large wash over the entire surface, and then you basically just take a rag, preferably lint-free, so you don't end up with lint and dust and crap throughout your underpainting. I just form my finger inside, and you basically just wipe away the highlighted sections of your composition so that when it dries, essentially you've got a value study ready to go on your canvas, and you can start your first initial layers in oils. All right, to summarize, should you do an underpainting? Again, it's entirely up to you, totally optional. Remember, you can't fuck up an underpainting. If you don't like it, if you're not happy, just wipe it off, redo it. Underpaintings can be done in acrylics or oils. It's entirely your choice. So remember, having an underpainting, it helps build depth and richer colors as you progress through your painting. If you don't do an underpainting, you may have to add extra layers further on down the track, as opposed to doing that initial underpainting at the beginning. And remember to experiment with different colors. You are certainly not limited to black and white or burnt siennas, raw umbers. Try hot pink, cool blues, vibrant, bright purples. It's literally your choice. So have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Like I said, you can't fuck it up, and just have fun. I hope that's helped someone out there, anyone, beginner artists, wondering why the fuck you do an underpainting. Give us a like, subscribe, share. Visit all my socials if you're interested in the stuff that I paint. Here's the bloopers. See ya. Oh, fucking hell. That's my fluff. So, even though I said you can either work straight back into it while it's wet, specifically the what, when, how, why, and who. So really there are no rules for underpainting. You do you. So why do an underpainting? Underpainting? Underpainting. Fucking hell. So in summary, an underpainting can be essentially whatever the fuck you want to do. And I wish I'd checked the settings on my camera, because this is a much better colour. I look very tanned. Hi, my name's Holly.